Hey, what's up? I'm David Moss Jr. Behind me, I have 7 of the most popular ice bath cold plunge tubs on the market today. We've got a Grizzly cooler, a galvanized trough, we've got the inflatable tub, then we have the Ice Barrel 500, we have the Ice Barrel 400 with an insulated wrap, and then we have the Ice Barrel 400 with no wrap. And then last but not least, we have the Ice Barrel 300. All of these have become extremely popular in the ice bath cold plunge community. A lot of people use them for just ice. A lot of people attach a chiller to them. But in this video, I'm gonna test all of these with ice, and we're gonna see which one actually holds its temperature the lowest, the longest. Any guesses which one? Pop them down in the comments below. Let's get in. Here's how this is gonna work. This is not a scientific experiment. There are gonna be some variables that I don't have much control over. I tried to put them all as close to this shaded fence as possible, so they're all gonna see just as much sun today. They're all gonna experience this heat. It's gonna be a hot one today. Temperature should be around 92 degrees. Every single one of these tubs has some sort of an insulated lid that's supposed to help keep the water a little bit cold. In my hand is a digital thermometer. I'm gonna take this digital thermometer, I'm gonna put one of these in each of these tubs. Then I'm gonna run to the store, I'm gonna buy a lot of ice. I'm probably gonna buy the 2 closest gas stations out of ice for this experiment, because I did a little poll and I found that most people put around 50 pounds of ice in their ice bath to do a session. And that's what we're gonna try to emulate here, is doing just one session, but trying to see how long we can keep that water cold for. Let's just get into the experiment. I'm gonna run and pick up some ice.
Safety first.
I get 56 bags of ice. I'm doing an experiment with ice baths, 7 different ice baths with the same amount of ice in them to see which one holds the temperature the longest. I just checked, both seem pretty full. $56 bags of ice, just under 400 pounds, I think. All right, let's put some ice in these things. I know I'm thinking the 500. Personally, I'm thinking the 500 or the Grizzly even. The Grizzly does a pretty good job keeping that water cold. And which one do you think is going to get hotter the fastest? I think it might be the galvanized, but this has a pretty insulated lid. This is one of the Polar Monkeys lids. I don't know if you can buy them separately. I know a lot of people ask me on my Instagram on a regular basis, hey man, where's that? Can I buy that insulated lid? I don't know. Pretty soon someone's gonna have to come out with a cold plunge accessory catalog, you know? All right, we got 35 pounds of ice in each currently, but let's keep on going. I don't want this ice to melt. This was $200 in ice. And the last one, just to recap, 8 bags of 7-pound ice gave me 56 pounds of ice. I ended up with 8 per, so I got 56 pounds of ice in each. I'm gonna close the lids up and we're gonna do a quick test. So I'm gonna technically start this clock at 10 a.m. as like the true test. So let's go ahead and see. I filled all of these up with hose water yesterday. So my hose water is somewhere around like the high 70s right now. I live in Florida, so my hose water is not that cold. That's why if you live in Florida and you do cold showers, it's not really that cold, but it's better than nothing, right? So let's check this out. This is the Grizzly cooler, and we're sitting at 65 degrees. So the water is 65 degrees in there right now. We're gonna see what happens as that lid stays closed. Now we're gonna move over here to the galvanized trough. This is what a lot of people like to use when they are doing their ice baths. I know I started with a galvanized trough, if you ever saw that video. It says 71 degrees, which is not looking good already. Now we'll go over here to the ice up. This is an inflatable. A lot of companies with inflatable tubs. This is 68 degrees. Now let's go over here and look at the Ice Barrel lineup. Ice Barrel is pretty much made for this. This is what they were built for, is ice baths. They do have a chiller coming out sometime. The Ice Barrel 500, it's one of the most insulated cold plunges on the market today, and we're sitting at 64 degrees. So right now this is the coldest. Now we'll look at the Ice Barrel 400 lineup. These are not insulated at all. They're the original Ice Barrel. A lot of people love these. My wife loves it, it's her favorite. So I'm gonna be setting this up after this video with a chiller. For anybody who wants to see like a new updated version of that, that'll be coming soon. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. But we're sitting at 69 degrees in the Ice Barrel 400 that has the Penguin chiller wrap. It's supposed to be an insulated wrap to help it keep its temperature down. But this is weird. The tan the sun hasn't even really been hit. The tan one's 67 degrees. So the tan uninsulated ice barrel 400 is cooler currently than the 400. Okay. Oh man. And then we got the ice barrel 300 here, and we're sitting at 59 degrees. So let me just do a little spot check, see if anything's changed. So right now, the ice barrel 300 is the coldest with 56 pounds of ice added to just hose water. So I've been checking these periodically, and there really was no change around hour 1 or hour 2, but it was also raining, which is great. Now the sun is out. Let's do a 3-hour check-in and see if there's any change to the temperature. All right, so we're seeing a little bit of change. The ice barrel 300 started at 59 degrees when we put 56 pounds of ice in this thing. So we got it down to 59 degrees, and currently we're at 59.1 degrees. So basically, I'm not gonna do the points, 59 degrees. The ice barrel 300 has stayed 59 degrees for 3 hours. Now we're moving on to this tan. We started at 67 degrees, and it's 70 degrees. So in 3 hours, we've gone up 3 degrees in the ice barrel 400 with no insulation wrap, but it is a tan color. Now let's move over to the black, but it has insulation. We started at 69 degrees, and we're up to 70 degrees. So the insulation on this black ice barrel 400 has helped it. It seems a little bit more, which is cool. Now we look at the ice barrel 500, which started at 64 degrees, and we're currently at 64.2 degrees. I know I said I wasn't gonna do the points. We're still at 64 degrees. So there's been no change in the 500 and no change in the 300, which I think a lot of people had made that guess, that the 500, 300, and the Grizzly were gonna hold the temperature the lowest, the longest. Now we go to the inflatable, which was 68 degrees when we first put this ice in there. We're up to 69 degrees. So only a 1 degree change in 3 hours. The galvanized trough only got down to 71 degrees with the ice, and we're currently at 74 degrees. And now the Grizzly cooler, which a lot of people have been guessing this is gonna keep the water the coldest the longest. We started at 65 degrees, and we're still at 65 degrees, so no change. So now we're in this prime time. This is when the sun has reached its peak. So they're all getting the same treatment. They all have had the same water put in. They've all had the same amount of ice put in. They've all been sitting in the rain for the same amount of time, and now they're all sitting in the sun. So I'm gonna be checking in every hour now just to see, because this is when the water can really start heating up. So this is the 5-hour check-in. Now, just to verify, the 300 started at 59 degrees, which was the coldest. So see where we're at 5 hours baking in the Florida sun, and it's 92 degrees outside right now. Perfect sunny day. We're still at 59 degrees. It has not went up at all. Let's look at the tan ice barrel. We're at 72 degrees. It started at 67 degrees. So we've gone up 5 degrees in 5 hours. Now the black ice barrel that has the insulated wrap is 71 degrees. But it's telling me that the insulated wrap is doing a little bit of work. Now the ice barrel 500, which has the most insulation of all of these options, started at 64 degrees, and we're still at 64 degrees. If we move over to the inflatable, we started at 68 degrees, and we're currently at 70 degrees. So we've gone up 2 degrees, which I'm honestly pretty impressed with. The galvanized trough, it's got an insulated lid, which is great. It is all black, and it is very hot to touch. It got down to 71 degrees with 56 pounds of ice, and we're currently at 76 degrees. So we've gone up 5 degrees, and that is currently the hottest water of all of these options. Now the Grizzly, this one has had so many people say this is gonna be the coldest, the longest. It is still 65 degrees, and that is what we got it down to with 56 pounds of ice. It's time for the 7-hour check-in. Me and my oldest daughter and my youngest son just crushed a workout over here in our little outdoor gym recovery center that we built. Ava, let's go take some numbers. Everyone, this is my awesome wife, and she just started a YouTube channel you got to check out if you like health and wellness. And if you're female, it's gonna be really geared towards you.
It's very hot out.
It's so hot. We just crushed a workout. It was like an hour-long workout too. All right, let's do it. Let's check in. All right, let's start at the 300, 7-hour check-in. What do we start at? 59 degrees? And we are still at 59 degrees, 7 hours later. Now let's talk about your favorites. The ice barrel 400. What do we start at with the tan?
67.
Dad, how much?
67? We're at 77 degrees. We've gone up 10 degrees in 7 hours. So now we're at the ice barrel 400 with the insulated wrap, and we're at 73 degrees. What do we start at? Now let's go to the ice barrel 500. We're still at 64 degrees, so no change. Now we're going to the inflatable. We're at 71 degrees. The inflatable has actually held the water temp better than I expected. So now let's move to the galvanized trough. Ava, what did we start at? we're at 79 degrees. And now the Grizzly cooler. What did we start at with the Grizzly?
65.
65, we're still at 65. So 7 hours later, baking in the sun, the Grizzly, the 500 and the 300, all three heavily insulated tubs have not changed at all.
Hey, since you have all of these filled up, let's show everyone what it looks like, you being 6 feet and me being 5 feet.
You see this? You can't even see my wife. I don't think you were in that frame. I'm 6'1", my wife's 5 foot even, and she
maybe 5'1".
actually had a great idea. So yeah, let's do that. So we're, you know, that is one thing that we have not done. So this experiment, just so you're all fully aware, I've not removed the lids on any of these. These numbers will change if you're using these consistently. Obviously, as you take the lids off, get in with your hot body, you're going to raise the temperature of the water no matter what plunge it is that you're getting in. So maybe we should do a quick plunge, test out the different sizes.
Later.
No, we could do it now, because I think that would give us a little bit more of a true, you know, a little bit more of a true temperature gauge, because we haven't opened the lids on these insulated coolers, and they are meant to keep your water cold for a long period of time. So if we actually do a cold plunge in these things, show off the size and everything like that, one, that can make for a good video, and two, I think that'll make the water temp raise in a more like accurate way. Good idea. I also want to give a special thanks to Blokes and Joi. They are a health optimization company that me and my wife have been working with for the past few months. I've been working with them for almost a year now. And what I love about them is every quarter I get my blood work done. They send a phlebotomist out to my house. They can send a phlebotomist out to your work, wherever you are. They make it super convenient for you. They take your blood, and then a few weeks later, you go through all of your results, not just your blood work, your deficiencies, your vitamins, your minerals, but also your hormone panels, and you can do a full comprehensive lab. It has been a game changer for my health. It has been a game changer for my wife's health. If you are interested in checking them out and checking out what's going on under the hood of your health, I'll have a link down in the description below. I highly encourage you check them out. Blokes and Joi, you guys are awesome. All right, this is my last check of the day. Fun thing happened. My wife just started her own YouTube channel. She's like, hey, we've got a lot of really cool health and wellness stuff. She's a lady, she's super into it all. So we actually did a really cool video, and it's gonna be live on her channel. So you're gonna wanna check it out. It's pretty sick. She's 5 foot even, and I am 6'1". So we literally got in all of the different plunges we have on our property, tested them out based on our sizes, and kind of showed that off. So really, really cool. So you're gonna wanna make sure to check that out. We're calling this the 10-hour check-in. One thing to note is that because we did actually cold plunge in every single one of these tubs and barrels and everything that we have here, the temperatures did change because we took the lids off and because we actually got into the plunge, which is probably expected. You're gonna have that happen when you're cold plunging anyway. You're not just filling these things up with ice and leaving the lids on. So the first one we're gonna do a check on is the Ice Barrel 300. We were able to get this down to 59 degrees. Even after being cold plunged in multiple times today, it is still 62 degrees, which is awesome. The Ice Barrel 400 without any insulation started at 67 degrees. It is currently 81 degrees. That means that all the ice is pretty much melted. The Ice Barrel 400 with insulation, however, is 76 degrees. 76 degrees, so the insulation, even though the color is black, and I thought this was going to heat up a little bit faster because we put the insulation on the black. I'm impressed, it's 76 degrees, so that's a 5-degree difference between the tan just with the insulation from Penguin. Now let's go to the Ice Barrel 500. We started at 64 degrees and we're 66 degrees currently. Going to the inflatable, we started at 68 degrees and we're currently at 75 degrees. The galvanized trough is 83 degrees and we started at 71 degrees. So this is currently the hottest. And then the Grizzly, which a lot of people thought was going to be the winner here, we started at 65 degrees and it is 69 degrees after 10 hours baking in the Florida sun. Were those results what you expected? Let me know in the comments below. So let's do a final recap and talk about this. So we put 56 pounds of ice in every single one of these. Obviously you can put more ice in, you could put less ice in, you could use a chiller. There's a lot of different ways. Let's talk about the worst performers real quick, because I think that that's something to be said. If you're gonna get any of these and add a chiller to them, they're gonna require a little bit more work from that chiller, so it might consume a little bit more power. The Ice Barrel 400 in tan rose 14 degrees over 10 hours. That's pretty, I mean, yeah, you're gonna need a chiller that's gonna be working really, really hard. It rose 14 degrees, which that was the worst performer of everything we did here. The second worst was the galvanized trough. Now the difference is, I would say the galvanized trough is a smaller body of water. It's a smaller galvanized trough, and it does have a really thick insulated lid. The galvanized trough ended at 83 degrees. There's a lot of numbers. I'm gonna actually just show you this too. The galvanized trough ended at 83 degrees, which is the hottest of all of the options. That water got up to 83 degrees. The Ice Barrel 400 got to 81 degrees. I hope this helped you out a little bit. This is an experiment that I've been wanting to do myself. I know a lot of people showed interest in it when I posted this on Instagram. If you have any questions at all, if there's something you want a little bit more information on, post those questions down in the comments below, or reach out to me on Instagram at dmossjr. I'm pretty accessible, and I answer about 20 questions from people all over the world every single day. It's something I really enjoy doing. I love helping people get healthy, get well, and get cold. And then show YouTube that this video didn't suck by hitting that like button, share it with a friend, post a comment, engage, all that fun stuff. It helps YouTube share this with other people who might want to find this information to help them make a good decision on which cold plunge is right for them. All right, I wasn't gonna do this, but I figured I might as well. So this is a 24-hour check-in. Let's go ahead and check them all out. The Ice Barrel 300 is 63 degrees. The tan Ice Barrel 400 is 80 degrees. Black with the insulated wrap is 77 degrees. 500, 67 degrees. The inflatable tub is 76 degrees. The galvanized trough is 82 degrees. And the Grizzly 400 is 70 degrees. Which tells me the reigning champ of this is the Ice Barrel 300. Were you right? Were you wrong? And I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day, and God bless. And oh, before you go, I think you should check out this video right here. YouTube thinks you're gonna like it, and it's on my channel, and that'd be really cool if you just click that thumbnail right there, because it's cool. Thank you.